Yo, what's up, everybody? Welcome to a breaking news edition of Orange Bloods Live here on Orange Bloods Live. I'm Jeff Ketchum. That's Anwar Richardson. The Texas Longhorns have signed a quarterback in the portal. Yeah, hit that thumbs up button. Subscribe to the page if you haven't already done so. Jump into the specs chat. We're talking it up, though, as the Longhorns add a little bit of depth to their quarterback room, Anwar, in the form of Matthew Caldwell, a starting quarterback / backup quarterback out of Troy. Started 5 games for Troy last year, who apparently was decimated at the quarterback position. Entered the portal in April. And today, with the Longhorns having a couple of spots open, they've inked a 4th quarterback. He's a senior, so he'll only be on the scholarship board for 1 year, but the Longhorns add a little bit of depth to the position.
Yeah, I mean, this is a report right now, Catch, on 24/7, about the signing of a transfer portal quarterback, which is quite interesting. There's a lot of layers to that kind of conversation, Catch. We have we have the layer of somewhat unprecedented under Sark to actually go to the transfer portal and get a quarterback. You're getting him in the spring, as opposed to right after the season. And then there's the conversation of what that would mean for, I can't even say the other quarterbacks on the roster, because I don't think Diabell as a freshman, anyone's like, oh, Diabell.
You mean KJ Lacey?
KJ Lacey, excuse me. KJ Lacey came in over the next 4 months, didn't show us anything. We're in panic mode. We know it's not about a KJ Lacey thing, right? It's clearly pointing at one guy at this moment. And so it's a fascinating thing, Catch, that Texas went through spring practice, spring ball, transfer portals closed in a week after, guys, that basically, Catch, this would have been a week ago Sunday when the final names kind of populated in the transfer portal, because the deadline was that Friday, so they had 48 hours. The week ago Sunday, that they finally said, you know what we're going to do? Let's bring in a quarterback for that room. We know it's not for Arch, right? we could clearly say that. Like it ain't about Arch. We know it's not that. It's about who's behind him, and that's where the conversation gets interesting.
Yeah, it's funny. Anwar and I had a conversation about this a little more than a week ago. We had a source of ours who we've used before on team-related issues had sent me a message that said that Texas was going to take a portal quarterback and that, they wanted a little bit more experience at the backup position, that there was a sense that maybe Trey Owens wasn't quite ready to be the guy in a world where he needed to be the guy, that maybe he's still a year away. And so you and I talked about it.
Oh, yeah. And look, full disclosure, I thought your source might have been on some of that good.
No, you were like, well, is your source Richard at Rogue Shop?
I don't know if I said that particularly, but it wouldn't have been too far off if that is what it was, because it was a little contrary to what we had been hearing about Trey Owens throughout the all seasons, contrary to what Sark was saying publicly about Trey Owens. And again, it's not Sark's MO. Like, Sark's MO is not necessarily to go into the transfer portal to get a quarterback, because typically that means someone's probably going to leave, Catch. Like that's what that means. The quarterback room is not the DB room. It's not the wide receiver room. Like, you can bring in a guy in some of these rooms, defensive line room, and it's like, all right, this room to operate. Quarterback room ain't but a couple of people. And so when you bring in someone, you almost weigh and calculate the risk, Catch, as far as that is concerned, that, well, this might irritate somebody, but I'm okay if they leave. So that's why I was like,
yeah, but nobody can leave now.
Well, you can't leave now, but you can.
By the time they would be mad enough to leave, this guy will be gone.
Yes.
Like, the next portal opens up in December.
Right.
Texas should still be playing beyond that, but this guy's in his final year. It's a 1 year experience bridge kind of between, both of the quarterbacks who are on the roster right now as young quarterbacks as they add experience. No, I hear what you were saying, and it feels like that ticks all of the boxes for the way that we would normally think about this, except I think this guy sneaks in and sneaks out, and he may not be the backup, right? There's probably going to be a competition for the backup spot. But look, of all of the areas that Texas could have thrown a scholarship at, and I feel like you and I have done shows and written columns and talked about this at length of like the virtue of, do you go get an offensive lineman? Is there a running back? What about another speed guy at wide receiver? Do you get a return guy? Do you get another tight end, a little bit more experience, and you just want him to be your Juan Davis and maybe nothing more than that in the event that Spencer –
if you're Jeff Banks, another punter, another kicker, another deep snapper.
You could argue that every position on the roster could use another quality guy. We talked about corner. Hell, they could have taken a 6th defensive tackle and we wouldn't be shocked.
No.
So there was a staff conversation on some level. Brandon Harris and Steve Sarkisian sat down, general manager and head coach and staff, and they had to have had a conversation about what do we do with our remaining needs? What do we need the most, along with what's available, right? It's twofold. It can't just be, this is our biggest need. There does have to be somebody there that could potentially fill the void. Fascinating to me that Caldwell is the guy. Let me give you a little bit of background on Caldwell, Anwar, just so that you got the full scope, right? So he was at Jacksonville State. So he's from Auburn, Alabama originally.
Okay, so not that far away from Jacksonville. Okay, go ahead.
He goes to Jacksonville State, plays 3 games as a true freshman. He's the backup quarterback as a redshirt freshman. This is in 2022.
Okay.
He transfers to Gardner-Webb in 2023.
Oh my, okay.
Plays 4 games. He was named FedEx Ground FCS National Offensive Player of the Week, honorable mention in one of those weeks, but didn't play a lot.
Hey, his parents printed it out, though. It's okay.
Hey, it's in the bio. It counts.
Hey, it was printed out. Someone has a screenshot of it. It does count.
I love that they put honorable mention in all caps too. Like the H and the M are capitalized as opposed to lowercase. So we get to 2024 and he's a junior. He's the backup quarterback at Troy.
Okay.
But there are injuries. He starts the final 5 games of the season. He goes 3-2 in those games. They scored 28. They averaged 35.8 points per game in the games that he started as a quarterback, 28 or more in every game. By the way, the Troy was ranked 19th nationally in November offensively. It's a weird stat to have, but like they're juicing this guy's stats up. He threw for 141 of 223 for 1,608 yards and 13 touchdowns in his 5 starts. And he was a one-time Sun Belt Offensive Player of the Week. But here's the rub. This spring, he goes back down to the backup position. So he's not so good that he's definitely the best quarterback at Troy because they got their injured guy back. I was reading about this on TroyMessenger.com, and it said that with the return of some dude named Goose Crowder, it meant that Caldwell went down to the number 2 spot, and thus we know why he's in the portal. So, he's definitely no threat to Arch. I'm sorry. I couldn't even say that without laughing.
I mean,
he's good enough that he can tie his shoes and walk and chew bubble gum at the same time. He's good enough that he could be a conference player of the week and helm what was one of the better offenses in the Sun Belt based on the numbers that I just saw. but he's not so good that he's the best quarterback at Troy, which there's some interesting middle ground there, I suppose.
I mean, there is a middle ground. I mean,
doesn't Trey Owens have to be better than the backup quarterback at Troy?
I mean, God help Texas if he isn't. I mean, like if you're Trey Owens, the best case scenario is that you find out this guy's a walk-on. And you're like, okay, I don't care. Like, it is what it is. Go enjoy major college football. Go enjoy, hot showers. Like, go enjoy being in Austin, like in all the perks.
Did you say go enjoy hot showers?
Yeah, I did say that. I know. Tomorrow, I'm gonna have like all of Troy just killing me. Like, you don't know what our facility is. We got a 45
brand new state-of-the-art facilities. Have you seen the bubble, Anwar? How dare you?
There's gonna be somebody from Troy that's like, you have no clue what our facilities look like.
Hey, it's
hot showers, PBJ.
There's at least a 50% chance their indoor facility is better than the bubble.
You know what? All jokes aside, probably
50-50.
Look, Melissa, Texas is better than the bubble. I mean, I can go to the high schools in this state that are better than the bubble. Like that, I got some people I got some high schools in this state that are absolutely killing the game. And then there's that crappy ass bubble that's barely being held together. Anyway, you got to hope that, okay, maybe this guy's just a walk-on or something like that, right?
I'm telling you, Anwar, in the end, the guy that told us, it was really specific.
Yes,
he literally said Texas is bringing in a portal quarterback for number 2. I'm not going to quote what happened after that because there's some speculation that isn't for public consumption. But the first part of that was 100% on and that guy already messaged me and was like, I told you.
He should message you. And here's the thing, Catch, though. When you talked about Sark and Brandon Harris, right? Coming together for a plan. Sark is the QB coach, and Brandon Harris is a former quarterback.
Yep.
So we've got two what we consider quarterback experts, right? And we can split hairs, but Brandon Harris started as a quarterback in the SEC. I'm going to feel like the guy knows something about the position, right? I'm just going to give that guy credit along with Sark. And those guys looked at this guy's film.
Well, they know more about quarterback than us. I mean,
and those guys said, like, hey, yeah, we should bring this guy in. He didn't like just unsolicited send this thing to like recruiting at University of Texas Football.com. Right. No, he was contacted. Like he was, and they talked to him. I don't know if they brought him in for a visit or anything to that effect, but yeah. And hell, I don't know of anybody else that was even pursuing this guy. So there's something there, right? To the validity of it as far as why they would want him. Sark's really good, really protective of his quarterback room.
Real quick, I will say this. I've left this out. So he's 6'4".
Yeah.
And he's pretty mobile. Like when I was reading his bio on the Troy website, one of the things that it mentioned, that he rushed for, he was a guy that like he rushed for 5 touchdowns. Like he's a guy that can run he's an athletic enough guy that he's not a complete stiff, I guess. So he's not a dual threat quarterback, but it does sound like he could mimic Arch's basic skill set as Trey Owens can, right? Trey Owens is a big guy that is athletic and can do some things. So he does fit, I think, the physical style mode of the guys that they will have this year.
Yeah, but the thing is, Catch, he's not being brought in to compete against KJ Lacey for the third string job.
Right.
That's not that guy doesn't sign here for that purpose.
Oh.
That guy's coming here because there's an opportunity for him to be the backup to Arch Manning. And hell, if you're the backup to Arch Manning, once you get past Ohio State, you've got a soft ass schedule where you can say, hey man, you do what you need to do this summer, and in training camp, dude, you're going to have at least 3 games of film at the University of Texas if you just play your cards right, because we're going to be beating the crap out of a bunch of teams. So if I'm Trey Owens, I'm looking at this as this is my little wake-up call right here. Major college football, they're bringing in guys. All right, man, I need to
They're
go
telling me to tighten my stuff up.
Correct, because if you don't, we got a guy that could potentially come in here and take your job. And so if this is a Trey Owens, we just need you to rattle your cage a little bit. You're getting a little complacent. Like, we just need you to do a little bit more. Then that's what it is. And then, it ends up being, overall a good thing for Texas. They end up winning either way, whether Trey comes out and balls out and, puts Matthew Caldwell to rest, or Matthew Caldwell steps up.
Interesting stuff. By the way, I was just curious because I have to admit, I know nothing about the Troy. Troy sounded like they had a pretty good offense last week or last year. I'm looking at it, and it's like, with him under center, Troy scored 28 or more points, averaging 35.8 points per game. In November, they averaged 37 points per game. I'm like, okay. Oh, by the way, this guy rushed his 5 rushing touchdowns in 5 starts were the most rushing touchdowns in a season by any Troy quarterback since 2017. So like I said, this guy, that's, if you were to project that over 12 starts in a year where he played that many games, sounds like he's pretty active running the football. So I looked up Goose Crowder. This guy's got a small sample size. He was the starter last year and didn't play a whole lot because he got hurt, which actually makes me think Caldwell was the 3rd string quarterback for Troy last year and got on the field when the 2nd string quarterback got hurt. But the starting quarterback, the guy that won the job, he had 170 quarterback rating last year in limited game time. 5 touchdowns, no interceptions, almost 70% completion percentage, almost 9 yards per attempt. Not terrible numbers. Like, I'm trying to figure out, who did this guy lose to so we have an idea of what his real level is at. And I think this guy's probably, who this guy might actually be like? Brandon Harris a little bit, like a poor man's, like Brandon Harris was an SEC starting quarterback. So on a higher level than this guy's ever dreamed of being. But by the end of Harris's career, he was a guy that when he started, you were like, oh, this guy can take care of a game. He's capable. We're not going to lose because he's the quarterback. And I think if this guy were to ever hit the field, that's probably what you're asking of him. Everybody else has to pick up the slack, be good enough to not lose us games. I doubt you're asking on the Troy backup quarterback to go win games.
Yeah, I think that's where I'm at that point, right? Look.
Whereas Sarkisian was a guy that was asked to always win games. That's what happens when you're an All-American. I think Brandon Harris was a guy that will relate. I'm sure he was in having conversations with this guy. He could say, hey, I kind of been where you've been, and what you want is an opportunity. And hey, man, there's a world out there where you're the quarterback for the number 1 ranked team in the country for a week or 2. And like, that's a platform. So I don't know. Interesting move. Onward. Any other thoughts?
Yeah. Can I just say one thing? I know it's not Overreaction Monday and it's off topic, but this has come up a lot. I just want to kind of just close on this. Everybody, I've had multiple people tell me you're looking good, Catch. And
any ladies out there?
My girl said something to me the other day.
Your girl's sexy as hell, so I'll take it.
Yeah, she said something to me the late last week. She watched one. I never know when she's watching, but anyway, she watched it and she's like, "Your boss is looking really good." Like I was like, "Really?" And so yeah. So anyway, hey, no one wants to have people always focus on their appearances, but people can tell that you're doing it, and props to you. That we'll close on that. I just wanted to say that.
Oh well, thank you, Paul, and thank you to anybody that noticed. I appreciate
Just
it.
multiple people have noticed. Okay.
The crappy thing is, like I threw this shirt on. This thing's a goddamn nightgown on me.
It's too big. It's too big.
It's so big. I looked at it and I was like, well, I'm gonna be sitting in the chair, so like nobody can really tell. But when I stood up, I was like, damn, man, this looks like a big man shirt.
Hey, you're getting close to not having that big man towel on your shoulder, man. You're doing great.
No,
man.
the towel's gone. The towel's gone. The towel's gone. There's no big man towel.
Ow! You do. Hey.
Yeah. The towel. No. I don't walk around with a sweat rag. I promise.
All right, that's it. We can close on that. Guys.
All right, guys, do us a solid. Hey, on that note, give me a thumbs up for not having to have a sweat rag anymore. And we do appreciate you for watching the video. We jumped on the Sunday because when there's breaking news, you guys need to hear about it when it happens, and not just on the Monday Overreaction show, which will, of course, take place tomorrow morning. We will be back. We will have hot takes. I have a hot take that is so scorching hot, I'm leading it off with my 10 thoughts from the weekend. I'm not letting this quarterback take over the lead in my column. I have a hot take that will lead us tomorrow. And all I can say is it hasn't. I don't think anybody has said it yet. So I'm going to be the first to say something pretty damn loud. And we'll do that on the Monday Overreaction show.
I'm counting down. Can't wait.
Just saying. I'm not even going to tell you what it is when I'm done, Anwar. You're gonna.
All right. I'm here for it. Thank you, boss, for your super chat. We appreciate you as well.
Oh, thank you. You did put that up. I was like, I didn't want to leave Barb's out. Thanks, Barb's. All right, guys. Until tomorrow, again, you guys have a wonderful rest of your Sunday. Do something with your kids or your family. Call someone up and tell them that you love them. Spread some cheer around on this pretty Sunday spring day. But for us, we're going to go enjoy it ourselves. We'll see you soon. Later.